What's up? I got a real treat for you today. So this ride it's a big ride. So you see this cluster of guys right here. Well, this was not even half of them. There's probably 80 to 100 guys in this group ride. So we'll get into it here in just a minute, but we're approaching the start. And we are off. Okay, this is the Tuesday Night World Champions in Redlands, California, and the segment is Alessandro to Palo Alto. Now, this is my first time doing Tuesday Night World Champions with this group, and so they do it every Tuesday night during the entire daylight savings time. But this is my first time, and so I didn't really know the course all that well. I knew the general area. I had ridden on Sunset, which is where we are right now, but I didn't know the course, and so I wasn't real familiar with the area. But coming into this, I knew that I wanted to stay with the group for as long as possible, and I knew that the group was going to split up into different sections, and so I kind of got stuck with this group for a good little chunk of it. Okay, but I first got to tell you about what the ride consists of. Okay, so this is the second half of the climb on the first lap, really. Now, the first climb is a segment from a street called Serpentine, so Serpentine to Alessandro, and that one is a 1.2 mile climb, and I pushed pretty darn hard on that. So I was doing almost 300 watts average on that entire climb, and then we get to this part, and it doesn't get much easier. It's actually a little bit lower on the grade, I think. It seems a little bit easier, but still very difficult. And as you can see, I was with the group for a little bit there, and so I was with them for the last mile and a half or so. Okay, but now we're getting strung out a little bit. I'm with these two other guys, and two guys is better than no guys, so I'm trying to hold them as best that I can, and you can see that the few guys ahead of them are making up some gaps, and so this guy's waving me around, and so anyway, I want to close this gap to the best of my ability, and so I see this pack of 3 or 4 guys up here, and I'm like, okay, if I could stick with these guys, then that'll be helpful at least. So you can see that I actually did catch them, and these are all Don's race team guys, it looks like. Actually, the 2 in the front are. I don't know about this third one. Maybe not. But you can see that I'm still in the 300, 400 watt range. My heart rate was up to 170, and so I'm pushing it pretty hard right here. Now, just to let you know who's in this ride, there are a whole bunch of young riders. They look like high school kids that seem to be up on the front, really pushing this pace pretty darn hard. And so, as soon as we got onto Serpentine, those kids were out front just destroying it, and they split the field pretty darn quick. Like, in this video, you won't even have seen them because we were already way far back from them in just the 1 mile that we had done before I started recording this. In the future, I'll be doing another segment video on the Serpentine climb, and so that'll show you who's in the front actually when we really start pushing the pace. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our leaderboard. So our leaderboard has Caleb Gordon, and let's see, he averaged 20.5 miles per hour. He did it in 9 minutes and 22 seconds. And tied with Callum is Evan Larson and Gavin Lady. And so, I actually think that Evan Larson was on this ride, and he was one of the ones that I saw in the front, like really pushing the pace. And so I checked his watts on his KOM ride, and it says that he did 378 watts for this entire climb, which is a 3.2 mile climb. So when you got guys like that in the group, then, I mean, if they're pushing the pace at 350 to 400 watts for the entire ride, then that's pretty insane. Now, while I was talking, then you may have noticed that I couldn't hold that group. That group of guys, I let them go. They all rode away from me at the same time because I was maxing out. I was at my limit, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I felt like I had been hanging on for a while for dear life, and my heart rate was like at its limit, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I let them go, and then like a minute or so later, this guy right in front of me, he came passing by, and so I jumped on his wheel, and so I'm riding him, and the other guy who just passed him, he was the one who had waved me by a little while back. So it looks like he got some rest, he caught his breath, and now he's going up the road just a little bit, and we are going to catch him, and we're all going to ride together for quite a while on this next little section here. Another thing on this ride is I have to bring up the time of year and the weather. So this is the end of March, and look at that blue sky. Man, it is perfect out there. So I'm wearing a long sleeve jersey, but nothing else. I saw a few guys wearing vests, and they had their vests unzipped and everything. I think they were probably getting pretty hot, but I felt perfect in the long sleeve jersey, and I actually rode home from this ride afterwards in the dark. It was night, and so the long sleeve jersey did me pretty good there. But I felt fantastic as far as the weather and the temperature and just the scenery. Look how green it is out there. So we've been having a whole lot of rain, but the whole thing has just been beautiful. So a really, really perfect day to be out here doing this ride. And now I'm actually going to speed this video up. So we're going to go ×4 on the speed. And there's not a whole lot happening here. I'm mostly just with this one guy, and then we get another guy. And not a whole lot going on. It's mostly just that. But I want to point out the grade here. So we've been at 6-7% for quite a bit of it. Oh, there's a guy who caught us, and so we're riding with him a little bit. I think the three of us will stick together for a little while, and the grade lessens a little bit. It got down to 3 or 4% right here. And so there's a little bit of relief, but still requiring a whole lot of watts to get the job done. Oh, leveled after 0% right there. So we had a little bit of a downhill, and I was happy to not be on the front because I was able to draft these guys going downhill while they were spinning their pedals a little bit. I was just kind of coasting along, and the front guy peeled off, and he's getting on my wheel now, and I see that guy in the front, and I haven't done any work. That guy that I was just on, man, I was behind him for quite a while, and so I closed this gap. I pulled that guy up behind this guy in the white jersey, and he wasn't talking to me just now. He was checking his tire. I think he felt like he might be going flat or something, and so anyway, he was doing okay, but we got a little downhill, and I started feeling pretty good, so I took the front. And so I'm going to take a pull, and you can see the shadows that there's two guys on me, and so I'm trying to do some work because I drafted off that one guy for a long time, and so I wanted to, do my diligence and do a little pull. Okay, so we're actually coming up to the end of the segment here. Just this short little bit, and then right up the road we're going to be making a left, and that left is the end of the segment. That is Palo Alto. And there we go. So there you have it. There is that segment. So it was Alessandro to Palo Alto, and that's part of the Tuesday Night World Champions, TNWC, in Redlands, California. So come out and give it a ride. It's a very fast-paced group, very aggressive riding, and it is a intense training ride. So if you want to get faster, if you want to get ready for race shape, this is the ride to do.